Hi, this is Mahesh Kosuri. Here we are going to discuss of SAP SAC Analytics Cloud. So in the previous video, we have done some work like date functions we have used like nest and today functions so that we have generated some forecast planning for the total order cost, right? So here let me open our report first. So this is our report. We have built one report on top of the variant order planning, right? So here what I have done for this today's video session, I have built one model, unit selling price planning model. I will show you the model here. This model's main objective is to bringing the sell unit sales price to the variant planning. So once if you look at this structure of the unit selling price planning model, this is the structure of the unit selling price planning model. See, the selling price is not like a fixed one. Selling price may be different. It is not simply the taking some profit percentage on top of the cost and fixing the selling price. There may be some other factors also will be included in fixing the selling price planning. That's what here we are trying to do. But what I done so far, I have uploaded the actual selling price for the each variant here for the different regions from the 2023 0 onwards to the 2024 08. It means last period till last period I have maintained actuals with the different for the different regions. So these are the dimensionality of this model, and I have maintained one measure also here. Now here we are we need to copy this unit selling price to the variant order planning. That's what we are going to do here. So again the cross model copy, right? But this time I'm not going to use the cross model copy using the data action, standard data action. We have seen already in previous videos data action like cross model copy, standard data action that has been delivered by SAP itself. But this time we are not going to use that standard one, but we are going to use advanced formula script to meet this requirement. Okay, so let us open another session here so that we can see the structure of variant order planning model also, so that we can compare the structural changes, I mean structural differences between these two models. Here you go, variant order planning. So this is what the variant order planning, and here you can see unit selling price planning, right? So I want to copy now unit selling price from this model to the variant order planning. How can we do that one? Let us see. Using the advanced formula script, I'm trying to achieve that one. Let us go and create the data action, because first to write the advanced formula script, first we have to create one data action. Okay, data action. Here I am giving copy unit selling price, sorry, unit selling price to variant. Okay, unit Unit selling price to variant I have given here all the same description, and let us select our model variant order planning. This is our target model. Okay, now after giving the settings, next what we need to do, we need to go for the advanced formula steps, or else first to save your settings. After that also you can write the script, advanced formula script. So here again I'm going to script, give some name for this step 1, copy unit selling price to variant. This is the step 1. So in this data action you can add number of steps. That's what it is telling, right? Is it? Okay, let us check. First let us complete the script logic, I mean script. So here I am giving, so this one I already commented out in previous video. We have seen what is the importance of data and result lookup and member set. All these things we have discussed. Now our objective is to copying the data from one model to the another model using the script. Where I want to copy unit cost, also we have copied to the same data target, right? Like we have taken the last, I mean, from the current quarter to the next 6 quarters, sorry, 6 periods we have taken, and one particular data source we have taken, and wherever the dimensions are missed. So for those dimensions, we have taken default member. If you compare these two, here 5 dimensions only in this variant order planning. Oh, in the variant order planning, you can see only 7 dimensions. Let me open variant order planning once again. Here we go, variant order planning. So here you see the 7 dimensions, right? So 7 dimensionality, and there are some additional measures also there. When you compare with this one, you see only version, date, variant, data source, and region. And not only that, you can see the dimension names also different. If you look at the data source, here we are calling it as data underscore src, and region, here we are naming it as brand and brand region. Of course, variant, date, version, both are same dimensions. Dimension names are same. Okay. Here variant is global one, and here variant is private. There is no globe icon. That's why variant is private. This is right. So date is also the same. Version is also the same. So data source and region, these 2 dimensions are different when comparing with variant order planning. So this thing we need to keep in mind, because brand region and variant customer sub region, yeah, variant customer and sub region are not there, not in this model, right? So we are copying the data from here to this one. So when you we need to map now dimension to dimension. So when you are mapping the dimensions, definitely these two dimensions are not available here. For that, we need to hard code, or we need to make default member for these 2 dimensions. That's what we have done previously also, while copying the data from one model to the another model using the cross model copy. So in the script also we do the same, but here let us do, how do we do that one? First I want to define the scope for this copy logic. I go with member set first. To define the scope, we know we need to use the member set keyword. So member set is the keyword. Here I call the dimension time dimension or date dimension. Date is equal to what I am telling to the system. Call the current period. So what I'm doing here, period, I'm calling period, and I'm calling the current period. So what I'm doing here, this today is the current date. From this one, it will pick the current period. Current period to next 6 periods, we thought, right? Our requirement is to next 6 periods. We want to copy values from unit selling price to the target periods. So here, next 6 periods, how I can define using the next keyword. We know we have seen the same in previous video also. Next 6 will give the granularity month, and now from beginning, which quarter we need to, sorry, which period we need to take the next 6 periods. As I said, like from the current period itself, right? So here I'm giving simply today. Today in the sense current period, it will call the current period. Actually, here we have defined the granularity month, right? In this next function, month is the granularity. So today I am giving directly. That's why the system will understand that okay, we are calling the period. Here today is the current date. That's why we are giving the period as the keyword to bring to read only the period data. Okay, so first date has been defined. Now let us go with data source. I want to copy data to particular data source the same way we did in the unit cost copy function. So here I'm defining some UPM copy from unit price. So this is the data source I want to use to copy the data from unit selling price model to this variant order. A data source I have defined, and we have seen two dimensions are not available in the source. So for that, we need to make some default member. We need to define some default member in target side. For them, I'm giving sub-region, right? Sub-region is not available in source model. So for that, I'm hard coding one value. I mean, default member I'm defining. Hard coding in a sense, default member I'm defining here. Then I define uh, one more dimension here. Now variant customer. Variant customer is also not available in our source model. That's why variant customer, I mean that dimension also I'm calling here. I'm defining one default member. That's fine. Okay. So this is what the scope I have defined first. This is in fact the target scope also. Not only the read, the target scope also I maintained here. Okay. Now we need to define the data function. But before defining the data function, our requirement is to call the data from other model, unit selling price planning model, right? So I will call that model into my script. First of all, my source model I will call into my script. To call the source model, just you can use a keyword model. Once you call this model, enter, what is this? Model, yeah. Once you call the model, your model and model, two keywords we are using to call the source model. So once you call the model here, you key in square bracket, then it will populate your model folder. From here you can select your model. So call your model here. That's fine, right? Okay, now once it has been defined in your script, so that we can call the dimensions they are available in this model. Okay, So here I'm defining the scope for the source model. Source model, I'm defining the scope now. So here I'm giving member set. See, my data is available here in this data source. Data source at this intersection, actuals are available in this unit selling price planning for the different regions. So what I'm telling to the system here, you you define data source and call your file data source you can call. So that what I'm telling to the system, okay, you read this unit sales selling price planning model with the file data source. Okay, that is the first filter I'm placing here. Now now we need to define the source and the target. What is target? Always in the script the final target is data, right? This is the keyword we use. This is the keyword we use. Data and is equal to what data I want to write. From where I will write, I need to read the data from this model to this data. This data is nothing but here, whatever the scope you define here, that is the scope the data will take by default. Okay, so here I need to call this model now. I need to read the data from this model. To read the data from this model, I use a keyword link. So I'm linking this model. Link is nothing but I can say look up the table, look up the your source model based on certain scope defined in this link keyword. So here link, what are the parameters? First you call your model name. Call your model name, then define the scope. Then define the scope in the sense where your data located. That scope you need to define here. As I said, data source, at the data source file, we have our data and what account I want to copy, that I need to define here. First, I am defining the account. What account I want to copy? What is the measure? Not the account. Here we are calling measure, right? So this measure should be USP. This is the only one measure we are maintaining in the unit sales planning. That is the reason it is showing only USP here. Okay. Now, any other dimension do we need to call? Which dimension we need to call here? Time dimension actually we need to call. Why? Because our requirement is to copy the previous period of the current period. From the current period, take the previous period. From there, you bring the actuals. I mean, you take the actuals and copy to the forecast periods. That's what our requirement. Just like what we did in the unit cost copying, the same thing here is also we are doing using the script. So here I need to read the actuals from the source model and I need to read time also from the source model. So two more dimensions we need to define in this source model scope in the link keyword, right? So here first call your version dimension. I'm calling from I need to read the data from actual version and one more dimension I need date. So from where should I read? Whatever the current period is there, you take the current period. From there, you need to read the previous period. From the previous period, whatever the actuals are there and what is the measure USP is there, then you need to read it. That's what we are trying to the system. So now I need to read the previous period of the current period, right? So here I'm using one keyword previous, just like nest. Here nest keyword we have used, right? The same way previous will do, it will read the previous period of the current uh, quarter based on the given offset member. This is the offset member, 6 is here. Here also we need to provide offset member. So I'm giving 1 because just one period only we need. Previous period is one period, one previous period only we need. What is granularity? Month. Now, what is the current quarter? Current period we need to read it, right? So here I'm reading today I'm calling. I'm using the keyword today. So from today, you take the month, then take the previous period assigned to the date. This is what I'm telling to the system. So this is my source data, right? From this model, take the USP actual and from this one, from this time. And already data source I have defined here, file. Now this one I want to write to the this source, but here already we have noticed some interesting thing here, right? Here your brand region and data source, those dimensions are different. Dimensions are different in the sense their names are different, right? Here, so we need to map these dimensions from source to the target. So that mapping we do in the data keyword. In this keyword we do that mapping. Here what I'm doing, first let us complete the mapping. Okay, so my target is brand region. This should be mapped with, see, once you go with this square bracket, then it is showing model name also here, because already we are calling this model name here, right? Using the model, that's the reason it is populating the model name. Now period, once you enter the period, it will show its dimensions. So which one we want to map region? So brand region to the region I have mapped. And there is one more, that is variant customer already we have used, right? Variant customer already we have used. Variant region, data source. Data source we have to map. So data source should be mapped with source dimension data source. Here is also the same, you need to do. And data source. So and final one is account, because account names are different, right? I mean measures are different in the sense, like there we are calling USP here, and here we are calling it as unit price. Okay, the member names are different. That's why here I'm using member name directly. I'm using member name by calling measure, just I'm calling the unit price. So this is what I have defined. This is what I have defined. Unit selling price region I have mapped, and data source I have mapped, and measure also I have called. So here also we are calling the USP and version and a date. Okay, okay. This is what I have developed the script to copy data from unit selling price model to the target model variant order planning. Okay, no errors found. Here is the question now. See, in previous videos, we have just simply defined the data action here, and simply we are embedded. We have embedded the data action into story dashboard. Where is story dashboard? Yeah, here. Here you see all the data actions we have embedded here. Simply we are running, and once it published the data, we are seeing the data here, right? But how do we make sure that this data action works perfectly? Our logic will work perfectly. How do we make sure? Okay, that's what also we need to learn here. Here you see one tracing point. So using this tracing point, we can debug this code. Debug in the sense we can see the result of this code, how this logic is performing, whether it is giving the correct result or not as expected. That's what we can do using the tracing. Okay, let us do that one also here itself. So to do the tracing, first we need to set one trace point here. I'm setting the trace point after the number. Just I'm clicking on it. So I'm setting the trace point. Now you click on the tracing, it will open window. Save this trace point. Once you save this trace point, there's run enabled so that you can run your script logic here itself. Now let us run it. Target version it is asking. So we discussed already, right? For every data action, version is the default parameter. Here I'm selecting forecast. Let us run it. Data action successfully executed in trace mode. No changes were made to the target version. Probably I have run it previously itself. Let us see the, here you see show table. Here watch area, you can see what is the scope I have defined here. Variant how many rows, and measures how many members are there. Variant how many members, date how many members are there, and brand region how many members we called into the scope. This is all talking about the scope that is we defined in uh, script. Show table, this is the result, right? So let us go here, show table. This is the table. Here it is showing the measures. Currently only one unit price I am taking into consideration. Unit price only we have defined. Rows, let us call the rows here. Brand variant and data source. Oh, variant customer, and looks we have missed something in our target side. Let me go with levels only here. What a variant customer, just show only leaves. Sub-region also show only leaves. Let us call the time now. Date. Date also call only the leaf. And any other brand region. Sub-region is there. Brand region. Okay. So far it has not copied any records. So source side, there is a problem, right? Source records, it is not able to read source records. So what is the problem here? Let us go and check our script. Just I'm closing this window. Once you close this window, it will take you to the script again. Here UPM copy I have used, and link measures I have taken actual previous. Oh, let us first test what is the what are the source values we are having. Go to the target, go to the sheet, unit selling price. Let us refresh it. We have value set 2024-08. These values. Actually, I'm trying to copy these values to the target. That's what I am trying to do here, right? So go to the script. Okay, actually we have not saved data action. We have validated but not saved the data action. That is the reason, I guess. So I have saved the data action now. Again, I am going for the tracing. Once we save, then only it will run. This is the problem. This is uppercase. This is the problem. Data source should be the uppercase. Now let us run. Again, no changes were made to the target version. So somewhere we missed. Okay, we have seen the issue, right? Now we are fixing the issue. So now here I just added this dimension mapping. D variant, we have missed it to map this one. So this one also I have mapped. And you can see the data source in the scope we have defined, and model member set data source file we have maintained. Everything is there, right? So all the either we have mapped dimensions in the data, or in the scope itself we have defined the respective dimensions of that particular model. That's what we have done. So here we are using the link keyword, and previous value, previous date we are calling here. Let us save this change once again. Let us go to the trace and see the result. Go to the trace mode. This is our trace point, so it will trigger here. Now run it. Run for the forecast. So no changes were made to the target version. That's fine, right? We are not writing the data to the DB. Just we are on fly. We want to see what is the result of this logic. If you go to the show table, here you go. Here you can see your values. Whatever the values we have seen in our report. Where is that report? Let us open this report. Our report is in, from here we can go. Here it is showing all the reports, right? In the story dashboard, I'm selecting the unit selling price. So this is what the table, it is showing IND, it is showing 180 for the 8th period, UK 340 is there, and USA 150. Let us show only leaves. Let us see. Now you can see the correct way, right? AND it is having 180 and UK is having 340, USA is having 150 for this CRVLX brand variant. So for the every brand variant almost I have maintained the same data. That is the reason it is showing the same values for every variant. That is like that I maintain the data. So here that's how you can debug your data action by putting the trace point and running the data action so that you can it will show you the log for certain number of records here so that we can understand how our logic is working right. Okay, here one more question here actually. in this case in this case we have built uh, this script for copying the data from source model where less number of dimensions comparing with target target model. We have seen in the target model 7 dimensions are there. Source side we have only 5 dimensions. So that is the reason here we are taking the default member of targeted dimensions. If it is vice versa, if it is in the reverse way, like source side you have the number of dimensions are more than comparing with the target side, then how do we write the script? Okay, that is one thing we need to think of it. In the upcoming video I will show you how to do that one, and I use more keywords, script keywords I use in the upcoming session. Now the time is to embed this data action also into our story dashboard. That's what finally we do, right? So here you go to the edit, variant order planning. Let us add data action here. Starter, data action starter. Here you can take our data action, call data action, copy unit selling price to variant, publish it, and copy this one, paste. Okay, I have created data, I have embedded data action here, right? Let us select our forecast version, run it, and publish the result here. Here you can see unit cost from copy from unit cost model. Okay. Sorry, not unit cost, unit price we need to get. Where is our unit price? Okay, let us see whether it has posted any records or not. Okay, so there is one more thing we can we can do one more thing to trace the data action status. I will take here data action. I go to the data action. Here data action monitor, right? If you go here data action monitor, just now we have run this data action. Okay, this one we started from the story dashboard. These are all we have debugged. A trace point we have done it. So this is from the story dashboard in this model. So forecast version we have run this one. Let us go here and see 84 records it has read and 84 records it has published. So already these records have been published. We need to check only whether uh, where these accounts have been published. Let me select the unit price also here. Unit price. Yeah, here you go. Unit price is here already. Okay, copy from unit price model forecast. Here you can see 180. Okay, it has posted to the no sub region and no customer, and 340 no sub region no customer against the 2014-09. So this is how we can copy data from one model to the other model using the link keyword. Okay, yeah, thank you for watching, and I come up with more videos and more planning scenarios in the upcoming videos. Thank you. Thanks for watching.